when we look at the success that our girls' programs have had over the past 10 years, she's one of the reasons for that success. At this time, I would like to introduce our next inductee, Vicki Bourne De Leon.
Maroon and gold. We will always be Rams. First thing, the community that we have here is just outstanding. And, you know, from the time I was a little kid, going to the football games on Friday night, and always, you know, going out and being able to run out there after the game and touch those football players' hands and stuff. They always made us, the community, part. And Galesburg Augusta always has been very, very good at doing that. When we went to the state championship, our road to the state championship in our community was absolutely fantastic. And it was just huge for us coaches and the players to come back into our hometown after losing the state championship to a great team, but they're here supporting and, you know, making us feel very welcome, even though we lost. Just a few things. First person I want to thank is the person that inducted me, and that's my sister-in-law, Penny Bourne. And one reason why, you know, we sat and Tim and Penny, you know, started dating when they were in 8th grade, and I trolled her several times that she was a fool. I had to get that one in the rub. But, you know, as all of us coach and all of us play, you have to have teammates that don't get bored. And when I look back, Penny was never probably the outstanding athlete, but she was right there making each one of us outstanding athletes work harder and be better to make our team champions. And I just truly honor her as a person, as a woman, and as my sister-in-law. And thank you very much. The sports boosters here, they are great. Andrea, last night I had several teammates that were here today. I wouldn't have been half the player that I was if it wasn't for my point guard, Brenda Stanley Vanderweel now. She made sure that when we went down the floor, the play was pick and roll. Vicki will pick, she will roll, and I will throw the ball to her and she will score. So that is, you know, I mean, if you look at the stats, and we had stat sheets, Brenda had all the assists, and I truly appreciate that. So thank you. Another great friend and teammate, Patty Shannon, is here tonight, or today. Diane Dorley, these are all still great friends of mine. Don Dorley, Rich Livingston, Steve Casson, just great people that I was part of and got to play with. And I truly thank you guys for all your support throughout the years. You know, last year when I got inducted, and Mr. Martin gave me a call and said, "Vicki, I'm sorry, but I don't have any of your stats or anything." And my husband will probably tell you this. I'm a little bit of a collector as far as memorabilia. I have everything. I have all of my stats. I have every banquet. I have everything that any player has ever written to me, about me, how much they love me, what a wonderful person I was. And it was go through that kind of stuff. So, you know, Tim can stand back there or sit back there and think that some of these stats were not true. But I have the proof that they were true. And I do have the article that states probably there was 4 games left my senior year, and it stated that my batting average was .879. With 4 games left to go. There's another one, Tim. Well, I'll just put it this way. He didn't coach me 2 things. My freshman year basketball, he was not my coach. I had a girl from Western, who was a wonderful coach. And my varsity year of volleyball, I had another coach from Western, and she was a wonderful coach. But other than that, Vern Kramer was my coach. He was my second dad. To this day, I cannot express enough how much that man has done for me personally. There was times in my life that I needed guidance, and he gave me that guidance. I remember one time that I didn't do something quite right and got myself into a little bit of trouble. Probably, well, no, not probably, there's no doubt. Nowadays, what I did, these kids would not be playing. So we're not going to tell them what I did, kids. But my punishment, if you go to the old high school, on the corner, there's a tree. And my punishment for the rest of that year, which we were probably 3-4 games into for softball, was that I had to run down to the end of from the dugout to the tree 5 times every practice. By the end of that year, I was looking for a chainsaw to cut that tree down. But it did make me a better athlete, and I hope make me a better coach and parent, friend, and also at work, hopefully it made me be able to lead and not be a follower. So I appreciate everything Mr. Kramer and his family did for me. And yes, it was Mr. Kramer's daughter that struck me out, and it was a questionable call. One thing, last night, I mean, most people know that, you know, as an athlete, when you go to something, it's much easier to take the ball, take the bat, and do it yourself, and you know, than to come up here and to talk about, or listen to yourself be talked to about. So last night when they were reading off all those stats, and I look over at our varsity team, and I see those flowers that they had there. And it's not very often I get flowers. My husband loves me, but he doesn't get flowers. So when I see the flowers, I have a little bit of a reaction, and my good friends notice that when I get nervous or get ready to start to think I'm going to cry, I get a little quivery in my lip. So it was going. It was very close. I was glad they went on to Ricky, so I didn't have to, you know, completely lose it there for a second. And thank you for holding me up, Rick. I appreciate that. But this is a special moment because having my child on that team, or one of my children on that team, and these girls were probably one of the first Rising Stars kids that my kid was playing with. So, you know, there's a lot of emotion going on with this team. It just means so much to look out there and to hope that I have some kind of effect on their lives later and now. So please, Jordan and Noel, knock it off. This is your coach talking. Puppy love. So anyways, I just want to thank those young ladies for doing everything that you guys did to make it very special. And also, as you went to the other side of the gym, my team that I coached, the JV girls, all had their little signs saying, "That's my coach." That was very, very touching, and truly appreciate that too. This one right here is, this is dear to me, and probably the reason I am the woman that I am is because of my mom. My mom supported me and our family in everything that we ever have done. And, you know, as a little girl, I didn't want to be inside playing with dolls. I wanted to be out with the boys, playing football, playing baseball, shooting baskets, playing in the mud, you know, anything like that. And she let me do that. She let me do pretty much whatever I wanted. She's my idol. She's the biggest supporter I have. And Mom, I love you, Mom, and thank you. If I say much more, I'll completely lose it. And a woman that has two wonderful children that go to school here at Galesburg Augusta. They're athletes here at Galesburg Augusta. My kids mean the world to me. From the time I had Holly when she was a preemie, she was 3 pounds, 12 ounces. And she was very, very dear because me and my husband lost our first child. So when we had Holly, there was nothing going to be standing in my way to make this kid a basketball player and softball. At 3 pounds, at Bronson Hospital, the first toy she had in her little incubator was a Galesburg Augusta basketball. And it was the size of a golf ball, probably. And at that time, I knew that this child was coming home with me. And as she grew up, and at that time, me and Dave only thought we were having that one child. We spoiled her to death. Holly never, ever got put down. She was always held. So I'm thinking that's probably why she's as huggy and lovey as she is. But then we were blessed. Probably wasn't blessed. My family, or my mother wasn't really happy because when I had children, I have a thing that is it's called HELLP syndrome, and it's very life-threatening to the female. But it happened, and God gave us Anna. And Anna probably, she didn't get spoiled nearly as much as Holly. And you can definitely tell if you know my children that Anna is a little more standalone. She is very strong-willed. She's not afraid of anything, and she's going to tell you the way it is. So, you know, both my girls I'm very proud of. They're very good at academically, and I try to make sure, me and my husband both try to make sure that they know that academics is the most important thing. You're not going to go make a living playing sports, but it will make your life a whole lot more fun if you do play sports. So Holly and Anna, thank you so much for just being a part of my life and making me completely fulfilled with what you guys do. A ton of fun. And Chip Haddock was also a part of that, and Scott Dawson, and having those guys, and of course I was the only female at that point in time. I was the only one that would keep them in line. But we just had a lot of fun, and I truly thank you guys for doing everything that you do for our program, for our community, and I'm sure the girls feel the same way. And then my brother, you know, I coach with Mark now, I help Mark, and he's great, and I love him for everything he does. And being with Tim, from the time that we took over programs that were 0-22 to when we went to that run of 4 years in a row we had a district championship, 3 years in a row we had regional, went to the quarterfinals 2 years, And then the year that we won the semis and went to the state. It was awesome, and it, you know, it's so memorable. And thank you for letting me be a part of that. I love you. Just one more thing, again, the community. I just don't think people realize really how close our community is, and that Galesburg Augusta schools would not be what they are if it wasn't for our community. I'll always be a GA Ram, and I know my family will always be GA Rams. Thank you.